Welcome, everybody. You ever feel like your life is just too complicated? There's too much family drama going on. You don't know who you love sexually and who you're related to. Sometimes it's both. Welcome to the attic. It's VC's Peasies. My flap's always available, except for
when it's necessary.
Right now.
Oh man.
You want to look at my butt?
Okay. Okay. I feel like I saw it.
It's right here. In my
Good
hand.
job.
In my hand. Hello, dear listener.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to Vis's Pisses.
The podcast you're listening to now.
Thanks, by the way. I appreciate
You clicked on it, you're listening to it, maybe someone told you to. They're good doobies.
Yeah, if someone told you to, please thank them on our behalf.
And thank you.
And on your own behalf.
Yeah.
Because clearly...
A lot of hands going around.
Just slapping backs and...
Slapping backs and
cupping buns. Oh my god.
Cupping chuns.
That was close. So here we are. By the way, I'm Tia.
I'm Katie.
We are your hostesses. Dear hostesses. Okay, Tony. Tony calls us dear hostesses all the time.
I'm more of a Drake's cake than a hostess.
Whatever, Tony. Love you.
We're talking about the Logan family series, and we've been on it, and we've been doing it, and we are now on book 4, which is what the fuck's that called?
It's called Music in the Night.
That is that was a big word.
Exchanging glances.
That is also
Music in the night.
That's also how I think of it.
Right?
That's
Yeah. Wait, what is it though? Strangers in the Night.
Oh, okay. I didn't really know the song enough to know.
Strangers in the night.
I thought you were like
exchanging glances.
and fluids. I thought you were
wandering in the night. What would you think I was doing? What do you think I was doing?
I thought you were like avoiding the waft of my burp.
I don't think I have it in me to do that.
You accept my smells?
Yeah, of course. Especially someone who like burps loudly with like just no caution to the wind, and burps to the breeze.
Burps to the breeze, smells to the room. Anyway,
so
here's the
to quote my co-host is here we do be
Scooby Doo in your chubby,
and I'm excited to read a flap. Music in the Night by V.C. Andrews. The 4th novel.
In the novel.
It's a novel.
Too many Toco Chipos. Chico Peoples. Too many peoples. Oh, too many peoples.
Wow.
There are
too many people.
One is too many.
Wow, okay.
One is too many.
This is the 4th novel in the spellbinding Logan family series.
I'm bound.
Bound to flap. I'm gonna flap.
I'm bountiful.
Let me flap away. Go. Laura Logan dreams of a glorious Cape Cod day.
I should put this down.
What?
She dreams of a day in the night.
I'm like staring at this, making sure I read it right.
Is it period, end of sentence?
No, it's not, but it still doesn't...
Makes the senses.
Okay. Laura Logan dreams of a glorious Cape Cod day when all the dark secrets are swept away.
Yep.
But,
She done.
okay. For Laura Logan, life on Cape Cod has been nearly perfect, full of magical days spent enjoying the sea with her beloved twin brother Carrie. But then, like the creeping of the tides, the vicious rumors at school begin. Cruel voices saying unspeakable things about the Logans. Laura tries to ignore them, but not until handsome, gentle Robert Royce moves to their town.
Gentle Robert.
Does she feel truly carefree?
Like a bear.
Yes.
Don't feed gentle Robert.
Oh my god. Does she feel truly carefree and happy again? While Robert's smile drives the shadows from Laura's heart, she still worries about Carrie, whose gloomy moods drift in like the coastal fog. And then Grandma Olivia issues a chilling threat, forbidding Laura to see Robert ever again. Alone to suffer because of dark secrets no one will explain.
No, okay.
What?
Don't, no questions.
Okay. Laura obeys until the miracle of a glorious summer leads her back into Robert's arms. What? But dark thunderclouds, that's one word? Thunderclouds is not a word, is it? Yeah. One word? Thundercloud?
Yeah.
All right.
Thunder, 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 thunderclouds.
I don't know. But dark thunderclouds have been gathering on the horizon, and when they suddenly burst with tragedy, they howl a name from the Logan's shameful past that plunges Laura into a silent, terrible agony. What? Now Laura can only dream of the warm, sun-filled life she so desperately desires.
Okay.
What the
Okay. They're stretching it a bit, and I swear to fucking Christ, if I hear one more oceanic metaphor, I'm gonna shit in your apartment.
If it's in the toilet, that's okay. What? You can also shit in the shower. That's where Bijou does it. Bijou's my cat.
So let me tell you, dear listenies, I read a book between the last two, and I completely forgot that the last one ended with Melody reading the diary. And my first note is, what? From Laura's POV? Just like a fucking moron.
Yeah, like literally, like the last sentence was Melody being like, I opened the diary. And it was like, my life was a fairy tale once. And that's how this book starts.
Yep. Confirmed. Laura did want boys, and Carrie's menacing aura drove them away. He gives her basically the old Chrissy Dollenganger, only eyes for his sister, despite her saying the matter.
But he doesn't try to fiddle.
On a skittle.
Yeah.
You know, I really eye-rolled through a lot of the lovey-loveness, like, of the whole Robert Laura. Like, yeah,
I liked it.
The next note I have is because they're in love. Like, so whatever the setup, you know, we get the family from their point of view. Well, okay.
No, I have my turns.
I just want to make sure that you didn't have anything before the introduction of Robert and the loving love.
Only a tiny little bit.
Okay.
I just noted that May was. It was interesting because they talked about that she was small, but the doctor assured them that her deafness had nothing to do with the fact that she was small.
You got deaf small.
Why would? Do you need? Okay.
Now you see, the ears have no bearing on the size of the person.
Yeah, I don't understand. And then also she was like diminutive as a doll. Her hands so small they barely covered Carrie's or my palms when we held them. And she's like 8 at this time. 8 or 9, like, I don't know. That's very small. Either that or Carrie and Laura had huge mitts.
Like a Truckosaurus.
Perhaps.
So, we have Robert Royce, and basically Carrie's like, you look dumb! Love dumb! Love dumb! I also made sure to note that I hate Carrie so much more and extra. Because he's like, I have to protect you, Laura! All boys want one thing, Laura! And then I wrote, I'm already suspicious of this disappearance, because he hates Robert so fucking much.
You do be.
Horrible. The young Jacob, the story of young Jacob and young Sarah's courtship.
Oh, yeah. That was funny.
It was very romantic. Sarah, noted as not a frivolous lady who accepts rides.
Yeah, Jacob pulled over, he's like, you want to ride? And she was like, I
do not need a ride. And he was like, you seem sensible.
Yeah, I know.
It was agreed upon that you was a sensible lady for sensible ridings.
That's the best. She was like, since you said no to the ride, I would like to make you my bride.
If she say no to the ride, you gotta make her your bride.
Make her your bride.
And then she will ride on your cack.
Stopped rhyming and started getting sexy.
Carrie peeping. Carrie peeping?
Not ready?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like Peep City. Like the peepers. Yeah.
I do like this this sentence, this analogy here. Carrie had never been a very good student. He wore school like a pair of pants two sizes too small. reluctant to get in, struggling to be comfortable, relieved when the end of the day bell rang. I hate wearing my school pants.
School is my pants.
That's so stupid.
I don't have anything until the dance.
I mean, that's like
That's
not
next.
very far,
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So it's
the pinhole of light. She was like, "What the fuck is this pinhole of light?"
I'm getting dressed for the dance.
So I'm gonna let's lay this out right here.
Okay.
A pinhole of light. What fucking kind of ceiling is this?
Rough hewn boards.
I don't think so. Like, I
It's a
don't think
legitimate house. It's in a shack.
Yeah, it's not like we don't have like wooden planks on the ceiling. How do you not notice a hole in your drywall?
Yeah, I think you put some drywall up on there.
Also, she's got a canopy over her bed.
Yeah.
What the fuck is he seeing? A pinhole would look just straight down.
Oh, sounds like we're on No Diddles.
Oh! No, we're on diddles. I'm just saying, like the science of the peephole does not track. That peephole would have to be the size of like a manhole cover in order for him to see anything going on in that room besides the top of the canopy.
I'm saying the canopy would have covered diddle times.
No, I know.
Okay,
but like
great.
What I'm saying is,
I'm going back 2 books to prove my point.
We're supposed to believe
He's just
that
looking.
he can see everything going on in this
It's a
room.
panorama. It's a 360
Yes, exactly.
view.
That's impossible.
It's
a pinhole through sheetrock. No, that's not. That's
okay. So we're getting ready for the dance, and as much as I don't have feelings or emotions, it is a bit fresh. Laura getting ready for this date.
yeah, that's cute.
Because Mama Sarah is like, I never did a frivolous dance. I had an acceptable ride. And May's like, oh, I'm so excited for this big sisterness. And she has a cute dress. And Sarah's like, take my only piece of jewelry. My one piece of jewelry.
And also, Laura was so excited she had to lay down and rest before she got ready. Like, that's so cute.
I have to rest a bit. And then she was like, how do I look? And I think it was Jacob was like, you look acceptable as vanity is a sin.
Yes, that's
Thank you.
what that is.
Yep. Adam Jackson and the ticket fiasco.
That was so ridiculous.
Would you like to talk about the ticket fiasco?
Yeah.
Do it.
So at the dance, the school children's are being
It is so
shitty.
fucking dreamy for this couple.
I know, they're just like, oh
they're
my
so
God.
in love and they're so they're
We're
like
just
this
gonna
is
dance all night.
I'm just gonna be here.
We're just gonna like enjoy the music and like rub cheeks.
Facial, anal.
Oh my God. Oh, rub anal cheeks.
I wasn't saying that.
I think we were talking about like facial, as in someone jacks off on your face.
That's way funnier.
Slash also anal, where someone fucks you in your anus.
I know what anal is.
I was making sure dear listener knew what I thought you were saying.
That's way funnier.
Spelling it out, yeah.
I'm gonna
facial
put
and anal.
facial and anal right on the dance floor on the 3-point
All right.
line.
Anyways, there's like
There's a bit of a
around
commotion, a mini commotion.
The school children's, and they come up to Robert and they're like,
Ticket, please.
I don't
There's
know.
no
You only
record.
bought one ticket, Robert. You didn't get one for Laura. And he's like, no, but I literally did. And she's like,
Not in the notebook.
well, yeah, it's not written down, and like Marsha, was it Marsha or Betty? I don't know which one.
Whatever.
Betty, like she's the school secretary or whatever the fuck,
keeps
treasurer.
immaculate
So
records.
clearly, she's not gonna fuck around. And they're like basically just being like, don't you want to like you're gonna like leave? And then Laura's like, don't you have the fucking tickets in your jacket? And he's like, I do have the tickets in my jacket. And they're like, here's the tickets. And they're like, oh,
Somehow you stole one, I think. But let's fuck that.
oh, agree to disagree. Bye. Like, it was the stupidest.
It really was weird. And then I wrote down a lot of food for a high school dance. Not even
Right.
a prom. They're like, the dishes were delicious and beautiful and never ending. Probably because we really haven't had many spreads of
There hasn't been a spread in a long time.
food in the Logan story.
Brunch at Grandma Olivia's. Besides that, no.
That's basically it.
Like, they talk about dinner, like, when Melody's with, with Sarah and Jacob, but they don't really go into like great detail describing them.
Of course, Carrie is spotted lurking at the dance.
Yeah, like all of a sudden they're all like huckle-chucking again. And Laura's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck are they huckle-chucking
like, where's
about?
Carrie's ticket? Didn't he?
No. He's outside lurking. And she's like, oh,
sure.
you're kind of full of shit, I bet.
This teacher comes over to investigate the pushy times, but seeing how pretty Laura is, he is reassured.
Right, you guys will look great.
I did. I don't know if you noted on page 34, which you are on. Shall we dance? Adam asked Marcia, holding out his hand. Anything to get away from this incestuous atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Then it's a ride time.
And they all laughed. But Robert's like, you want to fucking get out of here? And we'll just like go for a drive. And Laura's like, yes.
Maybe she saw Carrie lurking, but maybe not.
Maybe she did. Oh, but also... Our eyes met and I felt a warm glow travel from my stomach to my heart. Was it possible to want to be with anyone more than I wanted to be with Robert? I didn't think so. Surely this was what love was. And it had happened to me so soon after we had set our eyes on each other. It must be true love. Did that mean it was written in the stars like it had been for Romeo and Juliet?
Please get your hand off me.
That was fine as long as we didn't have the same destiny.
Oh, look at that! Smushmattering! Laura, they go look at the stars. Laura thinks to herself, wow, looking at the stars with this boy that I like is really different than looking at him with my brother.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What a thing to note. What a thought to think. What a thinkins to be doings. What a thinkins to be thought. Isn't this their first official date? Because it's time to honk, and Laura is DTF.
Yeah, she's like, okay.
DTF.
We had a different combination of words in this one.
Word salad.
Yeah. Look. Robert sensed my hesitation and then my quick surrender. It made him kiss me faster, harder, longer. His lips rushing over mine before going to my neck while his hands lifted my breasts. His thumbs riding over the crest of them, caressing my budding nipples. They are on their way to grow.
I didn't...
Budding nipples.
I didn't expect,
They're just starting. Like, what kind of visual... I'm, like, having so much visual salad.
They've been...
Like...
They've been planted under the moist earth.
Like, it just makes me think that there's, like, just the smallest inkling of a nipple.
It's like a Tic Tac.
No
areola.
No. Not even that. Like, it's like a freckle.
Like a freckle.
Like a freckle on a titty. And then, like, it's gonna honk out. I don't know. Budding nipples. That's not...
It's not...
Niederman was like, budding breast is played out. What else could be budding?
This is played
a nipple.
out.
I don't know if he's ever seen a breasts.
This is highly questionable.
Highly questionable knowledge of breasts. Shit.
Fucking A, they're stuck in a sand dune and carried to the rescue.
But they're like, why the fuck is
so he gets him out,
here?
but Robert was like, yo, why the fuck was he here?
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's great. We're not like, kind of like, why the fuck was he here?
But like, why the fuck was he here?
Was he here? And he's like, well, because I have to rescue you. Don't I?
And she's like, yeah,
thank you, but also, what?
Why?
So they get home, and Jacob was sleeping in the chair and was very disappointed that Carrie didn't have a secret girlfriend. He's like, was he meeting a girl? She was like, I don't think so. And he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. He was like, where were you? And he was like, at the ice cream shack. And he was like, that was ours. He's like, I don't know, I was just talking to people. He's like, fine. Then he was like, Laura, you think she's got a girl? Is it a girl? Is it a girl? And she's like, nah. And he's like, fuck. This is just weird about you.
Laura has a tingly nude memory about Robert, and then like a peeping Carrie nightmare.
Yeah. Because he is peeping. She's on the phone with Robert to like let him know what's up, and like his mom answers the phone, and it's like super cute.
Yeah. They go to the grandparents.
Oh yeah. Fucking.
Is it that sign language makes Olivia unnerved?
Yeah. Grandma Olivia was always uncomfortable around May. We all knew that the signing unnerved her. She said all those hands bending and turning through the air, fingers jabbing, made her stomach jump.
Fingies are bad.
What the fuck? She's like, no, I'm gonna throw up. No, I will not learn sign language. I don't have time for that shit. Ew. So yeah,
there's that.
Fucking gross. It was really upsetting.
The next note I have is that noted that Belinda called Laura Halele, and then just tossing that out there because Laura's like, I would visit Belinda, but one time she called me Halele.
Right. So,
no, hi.
I believe in the first book when Laura visited Belinda, Carrie was like, no, sorry, when Melody visited Belinda, Carrie was like, yeah, Laura did that too. It was the only time Dad was ever mad at her, really. One of the only times he, like, spoke strongly at her. Grandma Olivia never knew. But in this one, she fucking knows.
Speaking of that little slip of the tongue you just had, I texted Tia and I said, yo, who's on the step back? Is this supposed to be Laura or Melody? I still don't know.
Yes. No, it's supposed to be Laura because Melody's not even in this book.
I know, but isn't that like the design? Yeah, they're all squinty faced and like.
I know, but remember it was like you look just like Laura. Even though like, listen, whoever's, I mean, you're talented. You have an artistic talent, but you clearly have not read the book. Someone's just telling you stuff.
In the ocean, Lady in the Ocean. Got it.
And they're like, cool. This is the same face I've been doing, so clearly
Done.
It's this one.
Nope.
No.
Let's see. Even after being confronted, Carrie does not admit that he was wrong. Because she was like, were you... Because he was like, no, I was just there. And she was like, were you spying? And he's like, I needed to be there. Olivia decrees that Sarah isn't prepared to give Laura a sex talk, but she sure is.
Yep. I know. What?
She was like, your mother sucks. Talk to me about the bonins.
Sorry, also, they talked about, like, the grounds of Grandma Olivia's, and they talked about a blooming red maple trees. I don't think they bloom. I think they just have fucking leaves. They are just leaved trees.
They have
leaves, like, this fucking, what? Do you not even know what a fucking tree is now, Niederman? Like, what is happening?
Olivia knows everything about everyone in the family.
Well, she did.
People tell her things. And Woof notated he's from a family of innkeepers. Robert's family bought a rundown hotel, motel, holiday inn, resort situation. Took a lot of their savings, but they're hard workers. They're industrious. They're working real hard to get it back up, and Robert helps. I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to say it later. Their voices are lovely.
They are. I have been waiting to discuss this with you.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So Grandma Olivia's like, these fucking people are innkeepers. What'd she say? Like,
I wrote innkeepers.
Yeah, innkeepers. Like, she was just like, oh, fucking no. This family has dignified. Fucking Jacob is a lobsterman.
Can't get any more laborer than that.
Yeah, no shit. She's like, this family name, our reputation. She fucking goes out on a lobster boat and gets sunburned to, like, sell sea bugs to people. Like, what?
This is a fantastic point.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like, what?
I'm gonna sip on this for a minute.
Cheers to my fantastic point. Like, I kept thinking about that once that happened. She was like, innkeepers, that's not a good family. Our family's prestigious. No, it's fucking not. Like my father did so much whatever. Why are you letting your son just be like, I'm gonna be working the sun to get things to sell to other people?
That's laborer.
No. Fucking no. No. She's like, we got these grounds, I have a mansion.
It's her daddy's money.
Yes. But
yeah.
Fucking laborer. That's
what was Chester gonna do?
Who knows? That's the thing. It doesn't fucking track. It doesn't track.
Great question.
She's talking about like, oh, the best colleges and fuck all, whatever. How did Jacob even start to become a lobsterman, having her as a mother?
Hey, maybe they'll be answered.
I bet they won't.
They will not be.
They won't.
So Laura is like, oh, fuck that. And she thinks to herself, we'll be forbidden lovers.
Yeah.
And Olivia says that you need to beat down any foolish lusts and remember who you are.
Remember who you are, like Mufasa in The Lion King.
I was never a foolish young... Because she was like, weren't you young once? And she was like, I was never a foolish young woman. Okay. Olivia somehow calls May both a burden and is able to stand up to her deformity.
Yeah, and she's like, Sarah is just not equipped. And she has too much to do with your crippled sister. And Laura's like, she's not fucking crippled.
And then she's like, yes, you baby her. Like, I'm so confused. And
she's like, wait. Oh, man. Fuck. She's far from a burden to mommy. If you would just let me teach you some sign language, you could talk with her directly and see for yourself how bright and wonderful she is. To which Olivia replies, ridiculous, I have no time for that sort of thing. Besides, you all shield her too much because of this imperfection. She should be made to expect no favors and certainly shouldn't be babied. Only then will she have the strength to stand up to her deformity. And Laura's like, she's not fucking deformed. Like, she doesn't lean into it. She's like, no, she's like, she's not crippled. And she's like, okay, so she's deformed though. No.
some part of her not right.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The ear balls.
Yeah. And what a shit thing. I'm actually glad that they sort of called that out, because I think that that's a misconception. Like, especially, that there's just like people with like who are blind or deaf. Like, it's just like, oh, well, they have learning disabilities too, and it's like, no, like, communicate fine.
Carrie is lecturing Laura through May. Ugh.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Carrie right now is living this like mega butthurt existence that now that Robert stole his girl/sister away. Oh, and here we are. Robert's parents are delightful.
They really are. They're so cute. See Marina. He was like, here's my dad, Bob Hope. Lol, lol, lol. And he keeps calling his mom Ma. Mm-hmm. And she's like, Mama, it's Baba, Robert. I'm not, you sound like a confused sheep.
Yeah, she was just kind of like wacky and like boisterous, but very cute.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had a screenshot that I was studying and I couldn't figure out. But here would you be. Carrie suffered. Poor Carrie was always blamed for things we did together, no matter how much I protested and defended him. Daddy believed that because Carrie was a boy, he should be more responsible once when we were 10.
We went to the beach and got wet.
He took the strap to Carrie.
But they live right next to it.
That's what you do there.
That is literally what you do at the beach.
He took the strap to Carrie. I shouted and cried outside the door to Carrie's room. Afterward, I went in and put some soothing cream on the welts. He never cried or complained, and when I did, moaning that I should have gotten at least half of the beating, he looked at me and said, "What for, Laura? I can bear it for both of us. I'm happy to take your half." Like, that is so gross and disgusting.
And he's 10. No 10-year-old is saying that.
Okay, first of all, yes. Second of all, like...
honk.
Like, that is so gross that, like, I'll just do anything. I'll do anything for you. You're so special. And Robert comes over to study, and everyone else is disposed.
Yeah, they're just doing stuff.
I wrote this. It's asking for a scene. Let's go to my bedroom. It's such a beautiful day. We don't want to be distracted. You have a fucking kitchen table and a dining room table.
Yeah.
Let's go up to my bedroom.
Yeah,
we don't want to be distracted.
He notes the large stuffed cat in the bed. Remember, Melody had the same one.
Callback, yeah.
But they were talking about it was like kind of like a funny cat. Like, it was just like, oh, that's a wacky stuffed cat. In this, Robert's like, oh wow, it looks so real. I had to be sure that it was fake.
It's hyper realistic.
All of a sudden, wait, why even throw that in? Like,
so they do. I wish to note in the record time,
cranberry juice.
Yeah, they did study. And then they go to cranberry juice, blouse peeling, and nip kisses, and Robert is on his way to Pantytown.
Oh my god, I know.
Then there's the classic, if we don't stop, we won't stop. Robert he had unzipped.
He did unzip.
Laura was like, he had to like zip up, and I was like, whoa, you had unzipped?
Yeah, you had unzipped. It was after he he was like, all right, fine.
And like, that was I like that as a detail.
Yeah.
Hey. zips happen when you're nip kissing.
I also do like she was like, we're not ready. Let's be ready. And he was like, okay.
Zip.
And then zipped his pants up. And then, oh, what happens?
Creaky Carrie.
Deep, long creak. A deep creak in the ceiling. And she's like, fuck.
Did he
And
want
she
to enter
pulls
deep?
him back under the canopy. Carrie couldn't have fucking seen anything. There's a canopy above the bed. There's a pinhole above the canopy. You couldn't see anything.
So, Laura confronts Carrie about this, and
about the ceiling.
Yeah, sorry, the ceiling. And she was like, "Why were you spying on us?" And Carrie's like, "Were you doing something I needed to like that you need to be ashamed of, that you would feel bad about being looked at for?" Oh, yeah. Like I heard him so much. And then he's like, "It's just it's a knot hole. It fell out." So the rough hewn plank. It's a knot hole that fell out, and I just didn't glue it back in yet. Sure.
Which is different than seeing a pinhole in your ceiling.
Yeah, very different.
Also, the inconsistencies about this hole are upsetting me. Inconsistent hole.
You know what wants an inconsistent hole?
No. You want to be able to rely on a hole.
Yeah. Laura then is like, makes a great case for Robert to carry. She's like, you guys have a lot in common, all right?
So much in common. You both work hard for your parents.
Yeah. And he,
it's cool. You're both smart about,
he likes architecture. You like boat building. This is really fucking similar. You guys would be buds.
Stop being a chode.
And he is like Sir Smirkington. And I also, at this point, notated, I want to set him on fire. Carrie,
yeah.
I was just like,
messed up.
This fucking guy. And then he says, he's like, you bought this guy hook, line, and sinker. What the fuck? Tourist and cob snob. Okay, let's hear it. Let's do it. So Olivia and then Jacob and then Carrie are like, hotel people bringing tourists and they trash the town. We got a little bit of this and the others.
Who is he selling his lobsters to?
You blew the whole
Sorry.
setup.
Oh, fuck.
So basically that's the whole thing. They're bad. Hotel, bring tourists make bad town. And Laura is like, who is buying the lobsters? Who is buying the cranberries? It's not people, maybe, people who live here, but for the most part, this is providing our family income.
Yes.
You are a cob snob.
Cob snob.
Like, and what a shitty lobsterman. Every lobsterman is like, they take the money, they leave.
Yeah. It doesn't track. None of it tracks. I come from a prestigious family of wealth, and I am a guy who needs to struggle to make money.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, Olivia would have fucking forced him to go to college and be like, no, you're going to be a litigator or some shit. Like,
or a Jesus man.
Angie for Jesus.
Carrie's now nice to Robert, suspiciously, and is like, let me give you some sailing lessons. It's like when they're like, sailing lessons.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So now everyone's tight with the Royces. Those kids. May gets a treasure from Mrs. Royce.
Yeah, she's like, here's a, was it pocket watch?
It was like a little piece, a little trinket. So these sailing lessons, Laura is like, I'm gonna cook for my man. I'm gonna cook him a little picnic and get on like a really cute outfit. And Robert shows up in like a really cute outfit. And there's dirty shorts, barefoot Carrie. He's just in dirty cargo shorts, tromping topless around his house with his stank ass bare feet. And he's like, what are you doing, fancy man?
Yeah, he's like, are you gonna fucking get your shit wet? And he's like, that's fine.
He's like, we're just being cute.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, I'm excited.
Fun. Yeah, we're just having fun, you old fuck. Grandpa. Foreshadowing at the lesson, Robert almost capsizes the boat a few times.
What could happen?
But then they do some Indian wrestling.
Yeah, they're trying to have a picnic, and
they just male ego out at each other.
So hard cock measuring.
So like Carrie flips him, and then Robert's like, all right, like, and Laura's like, all right, fine. And then
They have a tie, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
because Robert's like, oh yeah, no, I know how to do that. Like I was actually like a world champion.
I was
bullshit.
a world champion bullshit.
And Carrie's like, clearly I can take you though.
fancy.
Yeah, like, and then they just tussle, and then Laura just keeps getting like more and more PO'd.
If I can say that.
If I can say that. And then she ends up, she's like, can we just fucking have dessert, you fucking dicks?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, you know what? Fine. And she like takes May and goes and bustles off to the house.
They male egoed out, and they're buds now though. They buddy up. But
They sing to
from
Laura.
the window, yes. This menage a three is now gossip fodder.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Carrie gets suspended for fighting.
Because they're being like, oh my god, you guys like take turns with Laura.
Saucy. Jacob says one thing that I don't, that I actually tip my hat to. So Carrie gets suspended for fighting, and Jacob's like, yo, like you're grown, and your consequences aren't going to be fixed by your parents.
Yeah.
He's like, if you keep fighting, you're gonna get suspended, and that's not my problem. If you keep fighting after that, you'll get arrested, and that's not my problem.
Yep.
So I was like, fair play.
Yeah, good job, Jacob. It wasn't even about like Jesus.
It wasn't even about Jesus. So Carrie's obviously fucking butthurt, and Laura's like, blah, blah, blah. And Carrie's like, well, you want to know? You want to know what they say? They say, do we take turns on you? Are you happy now? Now that you know? And Laura's like, no, but you can just ignore it. And he says, I will stuff their words down their throats.
Yep, they're garbage words down their garbage mouths.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
He vowed it.
He did.
He vowed it.
And it was so, like, because he was so self-righteously angry, and Laura was like, you could just not care.
You could just chill because you know it's not true. Basically, she's been like, we're in high school.
It sounds like you want it to be true and are mad about it. I mean, so here we do be when, here's a little note that I made to myself, is that through Laura, we the reader finally see that VC creepy twin trope from the twins' point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. Where one's like, I kind of fucking don't like being part of a creepy twin.
She calls their connection magical and acknowledges that other siblings don't have it. But there's also this, like, kernel of fear that Carrie wants to incest her. She keeps having these, like, memories of, like, lingering looks and creepy touchers.
Yeah, like a fearful voice, tiny hiding in the back of my mind, stepped up to say, maybe Carrie was so angry because he realized some of what they said was true. He was too devoted to you. Maybe he realized his own problem, and maybe his violence was his way of trying to deny it. Ooh.
So, yeah. Because we've had creepy twins before, and here we are we're inside the creepy twins now. The call's coming from inside the creepy twin. What's the call?
I'm just thinking about how like sloshy it would be to like have a call from inside your body. It's very wet.
You know what I'm picturing? What? Like a phone cord receiver, but someone's talking on the phone, but the cord, the old swirly cord is going into someone's vagina.
But what if you're the boy twin? I think it should just be a butt because everyone has one.
Don't tell me what I see.
Okay.
Robert's parents are away overnight. Perfect time for a romantic evening.
Yeah, he's like, we can pretend like we're married.
With some tingle wine.
Oh my god, it's wine.
They have, here's what I noted at first, a tender consensual fuckins.
They do.
Until she regrets it.
Like almost immediately.
And it's because of it's sinful and there will be gossip. And it's like, that was actually... Like, if she could just put away shame, you would feel better about the... It was a tender, consensual fuckins.
Yeah, I think what freaked her out is, like, her hyme broke and there was blood. And then she was like, oh, it's too real now. What the fuck just happened? I got swept up.
Yeah, she was like, the blood. And he was like, that's fine.
He's like, it's fine.
But he was like... He was like, we wanted to. And it's like, you don't have to feel this way. And, like, it's fine. And she was like, it's not fine! Maybe I wanted to, but it was wrong to want to. Ooh. She spends a lot of time wrestling with her guilty feelings, and I'm saying, why should you feel guilty?
Because she's like 16, 17, and she fucking grew up in that house with Jacob doing spouty shit, and also Carrie being like, you shouldn't have a boyfriend because all boyfriends want to do is fuck you. And then she's like, I did it.
So she kind of like take some space from Robert. She's like processing this, and Carrie's butthurt, shocking, that she won't ask him to solve her problems. And I wrote to myself, I swear he has Arrested Development. Because not all problems can be muscled into submission. Do you want me to like punch your problems for you? She's like, I'm just going through some feelings, and it's really, really girly, girl-centered stuff.
He's like, how dare you?
Yeah. So she wants to visit Belinda to learn about true love.
Which is cute. She's like, Carrie, drive me there. I just need to know girl stuff.
Belinda notes that Olivia was always a cold fish.
I know, I thought that was really funny. He called her a cold fish.
And Laura says, how can you be in love so many times? Isn't love something special? And Belinda says, it's special every time.
Yeah, she does. That's fucking awesome.
All my fuckings was special.
Love Belinda.
Olivia calls and Jacob punishes Carrie for going to see Belinda.
Which is not something Olivia ever fucking knew.
No. Takes his truck. Ooh la la. Laura wants to go to a restaurant dinner.
I know.
And Jacob's like, we never went to restaurant dinners.
Yeah, when we were young.
And she was like, it's new times, Daddy. And he's like, I do suppose. While he like, what's that? He does like some scrimshaw in the corner. And he's like, I do suppose the times are now new times.
Whittle, whittle, whittle.
He like chomps on like a chunk of whale blubber. Oh, but the restaurant, not to be, the Rolls Royce is waiting after school for Laura.
Oh, no. The Rolls Royce, by the way, is like the car of Grandma Olivia. She sent her driver. What's his name?
Raymond.
Raymond, the driver.
Olivia knows about the unsupervised dinner, and they were openly intimate.
Yeah.
Openly intimate? The men of this family suck into the women have no backbones. It's very Lillian Cutler vibe.
Yeah, but it's like, but it's fucking, I don't know. I still like
even
her
after
better.
all this.
No.
Okay.
No, but like generally yes.
Okay.
Generally yes.
Specifically no, but generally yes.
Yeah, especially because like with Melody, she was like, all right, fucking like, you got balls. It's gonna be you. I don't like. I'm fucking kind of bummed you're here, but let's go. You're the only one.
Olivia's like, you're gonna go to the Ivy Leagues, you're gonna go to the sorority, have a prestigious man, a wonderful life. And Laura's like, your life isn't so wonderful, is it?
That was awesome.
We find out that Carrie, the letters. So Laura needed space, and Robert would write the letters, and Carrie was the letter leaker. And again,
Yeah, you rifled through her. Oh, we didn't even talk about that though. Robert was writing Laura letters, being like, "What we did, like, was beautiful. Like, I'm really upset that you feel so upset. I'm sorry. Like, whatever
during
I can
this
do.
period
I
where
love
she's
you."
like trying to take space and process her feelings.
But he's just being like, "Hey," like he left her a letter like at least once a day in her locker, and she like read them and she's like, "They're so cute." And she like tied them up all neatly in a bundle and put them in her desk,
As we have seen it in prior books.
Absolutely. And Carrie went rifling through her drawer, and
Not the draws he wanted to write.
And fucking
Even after
Sweet.
being caught, Carrie insists that he had like some right or reason
Oh,
to
yeah.
read the letters. And he thought
I just
Laura-
wanted to know what you weren't telling me.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah, I just wanted to know what you told me you didn't want to talk about. Fucking
He
rude.
thought Laura was too pure to have sexy thoughts, so it's obviously Robert's fault.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Carrie reacts as though he had been slapped when Laura says she can't trust him. Dude,
Yeah.
why would she trust you? Why?
Absolutely.
They're on a break. Laura's very sad. Yeah.
Just something I like to... What is she... Laura, like, oversleeps. Like, she's, like, having, like, a fitful sleep because she had talked to Carrie about how Carrie's being fucking, like, crossing a line. But, Mama Sarah's like, your brother's acting strangely, too. Blah, 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 blah. Remember when you both got the chicken pox not more than a day apart? Yeah, of course you fucking did. You live in the same house. It's a very contagious disease.
Spat all over.
It's weirder that they didn't get that at the same time. So, like, she's talking about it like they're fucking, like, living in different households in different towns.
Gemini.
Ugh. Anyways, it was fucking... Remember when you both got chicken pox? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much every child gets a chicken pox if there's more than one child with a chicken pox.
Not anymore these days.
Yes, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
I had the chicken pox at the same time as my brother. Because we live in the same fucking house.
same fucking house.
Oh, but Carrie, to make it up, was like, I'm going to arrange a secret sailing times. Daddy offhandedly mentions a nor'easter might be coming, but Laura just brushes it off. And then Carrie's very pensive about the weather. And here we do be building. It's building.
Carrie's like, I know that you guys aren't allowed to hang out, but, like, I was teaching him a sail, so I guess we can hang out.
And if I just,
We're building.
Yeah, we're building. So they're gonna go all in a group, but then like Laura and Robert are gonna have to go out to private boat times. Carrie very pensive about the weather. Robert was all up in Laura's Cove, if I can say that. They go to Laura's Cove. Check them off. Smothering and kisses, name chanting, and riding on each other's passions.
Oh yeah, riding. Fucking.
Again, Sandy fuckins, and I hope there was a towel.
Well, yeah, of course there was. I believe that they talk about that.
They have a little snooze after their fuck, and
Our kisses were long and hard and hungry.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh.
I gently pushed up my tank top.
Yeah, but we're done. We're done with the fucking. Okay.
She was drunk on dreams. Pulled out the blanket. And then his dick.
Thanks for checking.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking.
I know, I didn't want you to think about, like, rusty trombones or whatever.
No.
Sandy Pelicans.
How you doing, Sandy Pelican? They take a snooze after the fuck, and the boat drifts away. Oh, fuck.
Also, there's supposed to be, like... It's supposed to be, like, a 20-minute... Like, let's go around the corner and back. And then they're like, let's just fuck. And then take a nap.
A lingering fuck.
Take a nap, wake up, the boat is, like... It says 10 to 15 feet out. How do you not get that? I don't know. And they're both nude.
They have a nude fight for the boat. Robert takes a couple blows to the head. Laura ends up holding the boat with one hand and a semi-conscious Robert with the other.
Oh, it is very, very Titanic.
Yeah. The rescue is as described by that stroked out Olivia. Fisherman finds her. Laura has no memory as Olivia berates her.
Also, like, she loses Robert in the sea.
Yeah.
Like, he slips away.
Yeah, she can't. Like, she's like,
and then like all of a sudden she's like, and then I didn't fucking know what was happening. She's like, it took me a while to figure out what happened after this. Some from remembering and some from what people told me. So I don't know who.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
But reader, she is holding on. Like, it talks later about how sore and bruised she was from like literally fucking straining every muscle to hold on to a boat to not drown, and also a person to not them drown.
Yep. Yeah, like her arms are like black and blue from shoulder to wrist.
So anyway, Olivia like fucking screams at her.
And for whatever reason, this fisherman was like, I better take you to Olivia and Samuel's house.
They got a dock nearby.
She's like, oh, you're disgusting. You're so nude.
And then he was like, well, let me go get the doctor mans. And she was like, I'll pay you. Shut the fuck up. Your wife needs medicines. Yada yada. Olivia bullies her into our classic scorching tub.
I know, scorching tub.
Nurse Clara arrives and determines it's classic. Well, there you go. It's classic.
Classic amnesia from trauma.
They take her to the hospital. The driver's fucking weird, by the way. He kept being like, what?
Yeah, it was weird. It was because the nurse was like trying to be nice, and the driver was like, blah, blah, blah. Also, it was just wild. Like, Olivia apparently just had a connection. She's like, ugh, amnesia, gross, embarrassing. Let's call all the doctors that I know, but ones that we'll never talk about. Yep. Like, what? What the fuck? She's like, oh shit, you almost drowned.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
I'm
just gonna fucking let your family think you're in the ocean.
Yeah, that's why she's the villain.
I know. Like, that's that is leaning in deep to that all of a sudden.
The air around the hospital is moist and enveloping, just like vagina walls. There's a freckle-faced night orderly gives Laura the old once-over, and is surprised that someone pretty needs to be in a hospital.
Yep.
And they're like, all right, Lauren. And she's like, I don't think that's my name. And they're like, oh, really, Lauren? How do you know Lauren?
How do you know Lauren is not your name if you can't remember your name, Lauren?
We have another fucking chef's kiss unflattering nurse that spanned 2 pages.
Oh yeah, I believe I probably have that.
Is it page 179?
Hey, yep.
Let's see.
Oh man,
much older nurse. Yeah.
I woke when the door to my room was thrust open with such force and abruptness it sent waves through the air. A much older nurse than Clara stepped in carrying a package under her arm. Her hair was the dirty gray color of old silver coins, and the strands cut just below her earlobes looked thin and harsh as wire.
Wow.
Her forehead had rows of deep wrinkles that exploded at her temples to produce spidery webs extending to her cheeks. Her cheeks were a bit puffy, making her small, wide nose look like it was sinking into her face and would soon be swallowed up by those cheeks. Swallowed up by those cheeks!
Oh, that's how I like it.
That's what happens with my underwear.
Yep.
She had a thin, uneven mouth, the right corner of her lower lip dipping just enough to reveal some teeth.
Some.
The roundness
It keeps going, yeah.
in her face fit her chunky, short body, yet she had long arms with wide hands and thick fingers. God damn.
Yeah, her appearance had startled me. So that same.
Also, like, she went to the window, and when she turned her back to me, I saw that she had a rather prominent birthmark at the base of her skull. Small hairs grew along its perimeter so that it looked like a large black bug had landed there. I don't think we even see this nurse again, do we?
Yeah, she's the nurse.
Oh,
She's
that is the
nurse.
Oh, Mrs. Kleckner. Right, sorry.
Laura's really sore, covered in bruises from holding the boat forever, but it's being really manhandled by this nurse.
Super harsh. Like, can't you fucking take your own fucking shower, you amnesiac idiot?
Nurse Scaly Elbows gives Lauren a good shaking. I also started calling her Lauren here just for my own amusement. So Lauren's in the bathroom, and she's having a moment because she was like, this is so fucking terrifying. I don't know who I am.
I don't know where I am. I don't know why I am.
The nurse is like, can you chill?
She's like, Lauren? Yeah, but can you talk to me? And she's like, yeah, okay, like, wealthy, spoiled brats always act this way. And she's like, am I one of those? I don't know.
She's like, I'm very scared. And she's like, can you come to breakfast?
Yeah, fucking get the shower on.
Get the shower on. There seems to be a variety of ages during breakfast. There were some tweens or preteens.
Yep.
We got Megan and Lulu. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't really give them much space here. And then she meets Dr. Turquoise Eyes.
Sorry. Sitting at the table was a small, very thin girl with hair the color of ripe apricots.
Yep, I did note that.
She had big dark eyes and a mouth with soft, perfect lips.
Ooh.
Her cheekbones were clearly visible under her tissue-like skin, which was pale and thin enough to pass for transparent. Ooh.
Dr. Turquoise Eyes is a short king with a small pompadour and a taut jawline.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. If Laura doesn't remember on her own, her mind may reject the information. Is what he tells her.
Yep.
Because she's like, it seems like you know some things. Please tell me. I am very scared of this. And he's like, no, I can't.
I feel like that tracks, though.
Okay. I have no.
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
I didn't Google this.
I did not Google amnesia therapy, but...
There's a lot of demands and commands to relax.
Fucking relax. Just fucking chill. Take these pills and chill. Take these chill pills.
In the rec room, there's a little bit more of like Lawrence. We are introduced to it, and Laura's like, "You look healthy."
Laura, Lawrence, Lulu, Megan, and the other
Marybeth.
Marybeth.
Yep.
Megan is also obsessed with like sexual assault.
By the way,
She's like, "Oh, you probably got sexually assaulted."
Everyone wants to sexually assault everyone in here.
Yep. And Laura's like, "No, I don't think so." She's like, "It was probably your dad. It's probably why you forgot."
Just letting you know, that's what happened. Lulu's letters are just scribbles.
Oh, that was really fucking...
She was like, I'm writing letters, and it's just like scribbles.
She's like, my daddy's coming to visit my daddy.
Lawrence holds Laura's hand, which Megan does not like, and says that his lusts have been resurrected.
That was a little bit weird.
Laura remembers Bible readings and a face that looks like hers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The whole institution part was not really it for me.
I don't know, she kept blacking out and shit. Like, she was so traumatized. And they kept being like, yeah, you're too traumatized. You should chill. And then they were like, why the fuck are you so worked up? Like, they literally forgot that they were like, yeah, you've been through a lot. This is going to take a minute. And then they're like, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you better? But also, you have to take your time in order to get better. It was fucking very stressful for me to read. Ugh.
Laura switches napkins with Mary Beth of the eating disorder, which I don't think is a very good move.
She just didn't want to, like, have her called out. Because also that, like, the nurse orderly was, like, being a fucking dick about it. And it was like, if you were spitting out your food, you're gonna go upstairs. That's what it was about.
Yeah. Someone is doing sign language and it triggers a memory. And that person's name is Tamantha.
Tamantha, I know what. Like, oh, that's Tamantha.
Oh, that's Tamantha, is it?
Tamantha. Mm-hmm.
Is that Tamantha?
Yes.
And she's reliving the trauma of Robert calling her as he drowns. And she says, my bones melted and I was pouring towards the floor, which was delightfully vivid. And then when she wakes up, she can't speak.
No.
She has to do a sign language.
Wow, you're so much farther.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Again, this wasn't it. It was, like, very boring to me, actually.
I know, not to me, though. You're blasting through. No, don't put it down. It's okay.
No, it's okay. Go.
Tamantha Stewart. Apparently she's mute, but she can talk. I don't know. I'm just trying to find out what it's Lauren. Yeah, so, yeah, when she wakes up, she can't speak. Like, it's like, when she tries to talk, she's, like, gagging. And she has also forgotten 100%. Because she's trying to remember how she knew sign language. So she's, like, searching her mind. Every time she super searches her mind to try to, like, put the pieces back together and get, like, the pictures to come clear, it totally overwhelms her brain. And she fucking just, like, blacks out. So she's trying to remember, like, how the fuck do I know sign language? That's weird. I can just, like, know what this person's doing with their hands. And then it's like, oh, like, there was a face and, like, I caught a glimpse and then out. And then she wakes up, tries to talk, can't do it. She's, like, gagging. Like, can only do sign language, and she has completely forgotten that she was there the day before. Also, I believe her whole time in this institution is like a week or so.
Yeah, oh yeah,
yeah, it's
much.
Not long.
I also think that as well. Luckily, Lawrence knows sign language, and so does the doctor.
Yep.
There we go. Laura's starting to remember sand, boats, cranberry bog, but she does not wish to walk to the sea.
No, like, yeah, Lawrence is like, hey, let's go check it out, you know, about the sea. And,
she does not wish to.
Sorry, I know you have a lot of anxiety. Do you experience flashbacks? Hear voices you don't recognize? I nodded. You're eating well, apparently.
Okay.
I don't know.
Laura goes under hypnosis, but then there's, like, no info from the dark. Like, what was the fucking point? If you're under hypnosis, you're not going to remember what you said, and they're not going to tell her anything for anything. What was the fucking point of that?
The whole thing, I think, is because it was just to set up the fact that, like, this doctor cared.
Okay.
This doctor was taking care of her.
In a kindness way.
And then all of a sudden, like...
Spoiler alert later.
Yeah, she's like, remembering stuff. And then Nurse Kleckner is like, you have a different fucking doctor now.
There's a beach needlework. Ooh. Beach. She does a needlework of a beach scene. Yeah. Oh, how appropriate. Lawrence pledges to follow Laura out if she goes first, and they do a cheek smoocher.
Cheek smoocher.
Lawrence stands up to Megan, and she accuses him and Laura of doing a sex.
She's like, how dare you? You were doing a sex.
Yeah, and then he chokes her, and she stabs him.
You two have done it, haven't you? Yep. And then he's like, and gets, like, embarrassed, runs out. Mm-hmm. Which, you know, I would probably do it. And then she's like, he tried to sexually assault me! And, like, the art teacher was like,
yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, so Laura's in the art room. She's like, oh. Like, after a tour, she was like, oh, I feel drawn to the art room. Like, there's art. And apparently Megan always just, like, shapes cocks out of clay.
Yes, clay cocks.
Clay cocks. She's like, they keep thinking I'm making phalluses, whatever. Just because they keep looking like them doesn't mean I'm trying to do it.
Just because there's a head, a shaft, and some balls.
I just really liked that. She was like, they're trying to, like, read into the shapes that you do. I guess I'm doing phalluses. Just because they look like that doesn't mean that they can read into what I'm doing. That's literally what that is.
Megan doesn't come down for dinner, and Laura goes to get her, and we all know what she will find.
Yeah, she is covered in blood.
But
It looked like a sink under a sink full of ruby red water so dark it looked like she had cut off her hands.
but Laura do scream her voice back. Good
Yep.
for her. And
She do.
decides to go look at the ocean finally.
I will go look at the ocean.
And remembers
now.
May and Carrie, and she fucking clangs into a janitor charging in to see her doctor.
Climbs into a
Clangs into him.
Oh, yeah, because she remembers,
She was like,
May's my sister. Like, I have a twin brother. Awesome. And she, goes running, and she's like, I gotta talk to Dr. Sotheby. No. Sotheby? Yeah.
Yeah, Sotheby. Dr. Turquoise Eyes.
Yeah, Sotheby. And Kleckner's like, you fucking
Make an
chill.
appointment.
No. You'll see him when you see him. And she's like, but I had a fucking breakthrough. And she's like,
I'm having memories. I don't want to forget him again.
She's like, I bet you did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I fucking bet you did. And then, you're transferred to a new doctor.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Laura. Yeah.
This is not a high security clinic for the mentally disturbed, she added, the nurse. No, this isn't, although I know you would like it to be, I said defiantly.
Ooh.
Well, we shouldn't be treated like criminals just because we have mental problems. We're people who have had difficulties in our lives. Serious difficulties. I know, she said dryly. Overindulgences. Having too much can be a problem. Where do you put everything? How do you handle the special privileges? Very serious difficulties, she said with a sardonic smile. Why are you working here? I asked, shaking my head. I just love that. She's
Fair.
like, why the fuck are you here? Ugh.
Oh, God, I lost my spot in my notes.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I wasn't paying attention to phone.
Lulu, one of the patients, was like really upset that Megan was gone. She's just like, all right.
All right. Laura is like, if I can go look at the stars, I think I'll remember more. And they're like, there's not a lot. We don't leave that.
You can't go outside. And she's like,
at night. They can't go outside at night. But Lawrence is like, yo, I know a door that's unlocked.
just like in the Ruby Doobie.
Yep.
I forgot what the boy's name was.
Doesn't matter.
Probably Lawrence, because they just have to use 6 names. And he's like, oh, I know the one unlocked door.
He's in the kitchen.
I'm the only one who knows about the one unlocked door. Good thing we're friends.
Laura lets the door close behind her, so I definitely wonder if it's gonna lock.
Yeah. Well.
So she's like moaning at a male voice memory, and she's busted by Billy the orderly.
Oh my god.
And he's like, what are you meeting, Arnie? And he is a very molestery orderly.
Yeah, he's like, you meeting Arnie? And she's like, who the fuck is Arnie? And he's like, he's been talking about how much you're a piece of ass. And she's like, okay, bye.
I wrote in all caps, ew fingers.
So gross. Stop fighting.
Where were the fingies? Where were they? On the edge of the...
No. No, it says hands. Suddenly both of his hands were under my skirt. Yeah, no, it's there. No.
It's the P word, right?
No, it is there, but it's not fingies. Don't talk about fingies, just hands.
Oh, the whole hand.
Shut up.
Under the...
Shut up.
The hem.
Shut up.
The leg hole.
But Lawrence comes out because he's like, Laura, you gotta get back inside.
Perhaps Megan was right, Laura thinks, as she scuttles back in.
Oh, maybe they do abuse the patients.
Yep.
Oh, shit. There was a moment on page 264. We're doing, this is the math market paperback, by the way.
If you're following the bouncing ball.
She was talking about she wasn't feeling well, and she was like, I have these dizzy spells and feel nauseated every once in a while. And I was like, she got Brago on the beach.
Don't come back to that, but I love it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I love that vibe.
It's not what happened.
I mean, how do we know?
But I'm always waiting
You're waiting
for someone to get impregnated.
I mean,
And be like, I can't believe this happened after I was having all this unprotected sex.
so she's going to her new doctor, Dr. Scanlon, and his secretary has gelatinous brown eyes.
Yeah. Noted also.
Gelatinous is not a descriptor of a visual. It's a descriptor of, like, movement.
Texture.
Movement, texture.
Yeah.
It's not about...
It's not a color.
It's not a visual
It's not an
descriptor.
adjective for color.
Any visual descriptor.
Gelatinous brown. Like, I'm just picturing, like...
Doo-doo.
Like it's just like brown jello for eyes. Like, there's no whites, there's no pupil, just brown. Ew. Hey!
She also has uneven lips with a bump on the end of her thin nose.
It was like made for glasses to sit on.
Yeah. Dr. Scanlon's hair is the color of weak tea.
Yeah, what? Interesting.
Why did I write hysterical versus excited? I don't know.
Penny!
Is it time to feed the cat?
Yeah, I guess, but she's just gonna keep screaming.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter.
Laura is remembering too quickly, according to her new doctor, and he wants her on some meds.
And who Kleckner is like, you should feel fucking lucky.
Yeah.
That he's taking that time for you. Mm-hmm. And she's like, but I'm all like drugged up and things are fucked. And
Laura demands to see her family and to know everything and gets put in the tower.
Yeah. They're like, you fucking get out of here.
She wakes up strapped to the bed.
I think you better fucking come. All right.
Yep. I will play the hold music. Yep. Because we need to talk about this. I thought the person was a nurse, but I think is not.
Oops.
When Laura wakes up all strapped to the bed, and there's like, I think it's a female orderly. Mm-hmm. The description. Anorexic-ish. Deep manly voice, curly black chin hairs. So I said nurse, but then I think later on, I feel like she's referenced as an orderly, so whatever.
Whatever.
Laura gets real pissed that she's being sponge bathed and getting no answers.
Yeah, she's like, why though? What?
And she's like, I just bring the meals. And Laura says, why don't you know anything if you work here?
Yeah.
Do you know nothing? Why do you work here?
I have some meat loaf. Not one word. Meat loaf. Meat loaf. A loaf of meat.
Dr. Scanlon says that when Laura's memories come back, she will feel like she's been hit by a freight train.
Oh, yeah.
Freight train, as noted, is what V.C. Andrews' book is. Laura's all sedated up and has a vision of her family. And wakes up to Lawrence at her side, and there's like moaning bedpan kisses. So I envision these situations. They do reference her bedpan.
Yeah, they do.
That's not like a sensual kiss time when you're bed pissing it up. You got a bed pisser. Maybe shitting too.
A bed pisser and shitter. She also sees Megan in the zombie ward.
Yes, I was not at the zombie ward yet.
Oh, yeah.
But during these moaning bed kisses with Lawrence, she oopsie poopsie calls him Robert, awakes to a soaked, tearful pillow. And I'm going to say that could be Drool.
Could be.
Yep. And then she can go on walkies.
Yep.
And that's when she sees the zombie ward.
Which apparently, like, that's just where they, like, med people into...
Catatonia.
Right, pretty much. Which apparently happens within a couple of days.
Sure.
Could do.
Megan is there, and then they're like, here, have some extra pills.
Yeah, like, your meds need to be upped. And she's like, I would really like to have less of them. I was also waiting for her to, like, start, like, fake taking them and not taking them. She doesn't do that.
Let's see. Lawrence tells her she called out for Robert again. She's resolute that today is the day she will remember it all. How very ominous.
I'll just fucking do it.
Team. But she is in fact remembering the fam with the details, except they're behind a locked door. Locked door. You gotta break off them memories for your meds and your breakfast. Yep. There's a nurse who's very self-important. She's like, this is an awesome job.
Isn't that the same? That's the same one, isn't it?
No, that one yelled at the weird descripted one.
Yeah. Oh, Mrs. Roundchild.
Yeah. Laura is afraid to forget again and is hesitant to take her pills. And she's like, well, we gotta care for you. So.
And she's like, I would really like to not.
She's like, I'm remembering so much, I'm afraid I'm gonna forget again. This is a valid concern. And they're like, but the doctor. So.
And there's like interns, interns that come in with Dr.
She's
Scanlon.
hesitant to remember because her doctor doesn't smile and is very clinical. Mm-hmm. It was pretty rude to lecture the interns right there in her room, though.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
Laura's permitted to sit in a chair. And now she remembers more. She remembers a Sandy sex time. And then more.
She was like, I see people on a boat on a beach, and then they're naked and they're toasting sexily.
Yes, it went from third person to first person.
Yeah. She's like, I see them, and all of a sudden, oh my god, I was one of them. It was me.
It were me.
And then she's like, oh shit.
So then she does more of the storm, and she wakes up to Lawrence. And honestly, I know that the hospital's supposed to be villainous, but she is remembering more while all pilled up. I mean, it's very much as described.
That's what, yes. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I feel like it did a really good job of being like, you're stressed out for Laura, and her point of view, just like, I am fucking like so panicked that I don't know what's going on. And then you have these doctors being like assholes, but being like, but this is gonna help you. And it
kind of does.
It seems like it did. Like, why the fuck couldn't they just be a little bit nicer? I don't know. That's what we ask ourselves. She wasn't like reassured that things were gonna be okay. They were just like, fucking chill.
Yeah.
And she's like, why are you telling me to chill when you're also telling me that I'm super fucked up? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she says she must escape because they're prolonging her treatment to be part of a study. And here's where I said that honestly, I'm not sure if we're supposed to believe her or if this was just like that twist. Laura twisted its thinking as reported in the prior book. Because, like, what the fuck was she talking about this? She's like, I'm in a study. They're going to pill me up.
I think it's because the two...
interns?
The interns came in, and she had been, like... I mean, being on, like, fucking pilled up weirdo sedatives probably...
Didn't help?
Yeah, it fucks with you. But apparently she was, like, cognizant enough to feel weird about it. I don't know.
Okay. Big ol' fucking continuity question.
No, but I think that that's the struggle. Like, I believe that she absolutely believed what was going on. And I do think the intentions and the treatment was working as it was supposed to. But the communication between, like, the doctors, the nurses, whomever, to Laura was shit. Mm-hmm. Like, she clearly was just like, tell me everything. And they were like, no. And she was like, why? And they were like, shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Like, if they were like, listen, though, this is how it's going to work. They kind of did that, though. Like, if you push yourself too far, but then, like, keep taking these pills. I don't know. It was...
So Lawrence is like, I'll help you escape, and we'll go together. And so then she's like, I'm in this weird hospital gown. Let's go back to my old room. And, okay. Laura sees Dr. Turquoise Eyes is like, here, a diary journal. So Laura sees the diary that she had been doing with her first doctor, and she's like, I guess it was never given to my second doctor. Is this the diary we're supposed to be reading? Is this the diary we are supposed to be reading?
No, I don't think so.
Obviously fucking not, but...
Yeah.
That was the whole premise.
I know. But I think that that's like... We know there was a diary, and there are things that were being talked about. It's different than...
it's not that straight up Annie finds...
Correct. Like, and it's like, is word, finish. It's like... I think it's just like, oh, and Laura was alive.
And now it's Laura's story.
Yes.
Okay, great. She is fucking losing it on the way out. Robert's calling, and the storm is coming.
Yeah, all of a sudden, she's like, I'm gonna go to the highway, I'm gonna fucking hitchhike, I know where I live, I'm going home. And then she, like, starts running the opposite way, and Lawrence is like, yo, that's not where the highway is, what the fuck are you doing?
She goes running.
Running into...
The ocean.
And
she's like, Robert's on the ocean, the boat's capsizing. And she was like, oh, she's going in. And then she strips her clothes off in the water?
Yeah.
That really seems difficult.
Maybe. I don't know, because she was like, it's weighing me down. It's because, it was just to get back to the nudities.
Yes. Okay. Robert took her away into the forever.
And then Robert was there, and he was like, And she's like, let's go back. And he's like, we can't go back, Laura. We're here now. And she was like, okay. And she
fucking died.
She died drowned.
Busy week.
It's a heck of a day.
It was a heck of a time. Olivia rolls in and she big mad.
Olivia Rolls Royces. She is big mad. She's like, how the fuck did this happen? But also, what was your plan?
Yeah, like...
What the fuck was your plan?
It's pretty fucking convenient that she died. For Olivia's perspective, plus
absolutely. Like, what?
She sends the nurses away with a wave of her hand. And the doctor's like, I guess I'll fucking try. And she goes, you'll do what I ask, not the best you can. And then she's like, leave me to talk to Laura, my granddaughter. She's like, I knew that you wouldn't be happy without Robert, but fuck it, am I right? Family name forever.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I guess fuck that.
Yep.
The end.
Well, she does do one thing. She was like, hey, Dr. Scanlon, though. That fucking young man who helped Laura get out and, like, saw her drown. Tell him it's not his fault.
All right.
And that was, like, a nice... And she was like, for Laura, and for me, too. And you're like, oh, it's, like, slightly admitting some cuntiness.
Okay, so that's one of her little redemptive arcs, but thank you for reminding me. Let me straighten my tie here.
She's not wearing a tie.
Carrie has no redemptive arc.
Oh, shit.
He is not a good person.
So
all right?
I just love you because you remind me of my twin.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not fighting with you.
Yeah. No. Okay.
I'm not fighting. Now we're fighting.
We got two to three other books of Carrie. We think like he's like, VC man, boy, child, where he's just like a little rough around the edges, but the woman will help him, and they'll be. But upon reflection, no. He's like, oh, sick, you're gonna use her inheritance to, like, let me have a boat business.
Also, what isn't he of my... What?
Straighten your tie.
Yeah. So, like, Olivia just being like, the family prestigious name, except for my laboring people who have to scrimp and save to make sure that they are well-fed. Like, anyways. But what was her plan? Like... Because part of it seemed like, okay, do they not want Laura to remember anything?
Right.
I don't know. There's so much missing intentions in this. Missing intentions. Like, scene missing. Intentions missing.
I feel like I want to talk more about how much I hate Carrie. It's so much. Because here... You expect a redemptive arc for him. Like, I don't know. Like, he was a dick face.
Yeah, like, he did, like, he did get to know Robert and seem to be, like, nice about that. But also, like, as soon as Laura as soon as the, like, boat accident, fucking nor'easter thing happens, like, we don't know anything about the Logans besides Olivia.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just a small amount, so who the fuck knows?
It doesn't make me like anything that happened.
No, because in the other books, too, Carrie was like... I think they tried to a little bit give him a redemptive arc by being like, oh, like, he was friends with Robert, and, like, he got them to hang out. But in the other books, like, he was never like, oh, like, Robert was a really good dude when we became friends. It was like, no, Laura should have been out there.
Fuck.
They did this. They did that. Like, it wasn't... Like, he was a really good dude, actually. Like, I didn't give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And, like, he really did care about my sister. No, he was just talking shit. Mm-hmm. Like, Laura wouldn't have died if she wasn't with a boyfriend. She should have been with me friend.
With a me friend. Anyway. Yep, that's it.
Problematic. I really missed Melody in this one, though. I wanted one more Melody book. I want to know Melody after age fucking 18. Like, what was the point of her fiddle playing? It came up, like, once a book.
And fiddle.
Stupid, yes. Oh, and then I did this and I was singing, I'm not that good. And then everyone was wowed.
Is this maybe, will there be future sagas where we only get a three book?
I don't know. Well, after this one, we're doing the Orphan series, and that's going to be, like, one book per
human.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Go read a book.
Don't read this book.
You can.
You can. Yeah, very easily.
You very, very easily can.
You very easily can, but,
you don't have to.
You don't have to. Bye, listener.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to VC's Pieces Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it.
Technical support provided by Boo and Matt. Thanks for answering all of my stupid questions.
Video wizardry provided by Coburn. Thanks for taking on a very special project. Music is Dust in My Attic by Brooke MC, used under Creative Commons license.
Email us at vcspcspodcast@gmail.com with your thoughts and comments.
You can also follow us on Instagram. We are at Macy's Pieces Podcast.
New episodes are released every other Friday to give you time to read along. In the meantime, diddle your fiddle,
Unlock a maternal mystery,
and don't get lost at sea.